about Frank Quinn?
Oh my gosh.
What do you remember about Frank Quinn? I hear he had a thunderous handshake.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
He had, I remember people coming in the store, especially.
Yeah.
Trying to remember his name, but Frank would grab his hand, and I remember that man finally just going down on the floor, and Frank was Mr. Quinn. I shouldn't call him Frank. Mr. Quinn just crushing his hand. But the thing was, he was a good undertaker. He came down here from Sydney, Ohio. I think it was Sydney, up north of Cincinnati.
Where he worked in the bicycle shop with the Wright brothers.
Yes, he did. And he said that's where he got his grip, was pulling canvas over the wing.
George's got a story to tell you about the clippers that they used it on. I'm
The
sure
clippers,
He
yeah.
had those
Shears.
Shears,
yeah.
yeah.
all that stuff. There was an ancient washing machine sitting in Greer's. One of those, I don't know what was driven. Did you have to like pedal it or something to make, it was wooden. Do you remember that thing?
Don't remember it, but there would have been one old one or two there around.
Maybe about that tall.
Yeah.
And it looked like a cider barrel or something. But it
That's
had,
really old.
I don't know if it said Maytag on the side of it.
Could have been.
But one day he was sitting in there and I was checking that thing out. Oh no, my parents were in there buying Speed Queen washing machine and dryer.
Most probably.
He was laughing. He said, "Go back there and get your mom. Tell her you found her one." And he was talking about, he had
The
the
old
shears
age.
laying out. I don't know if he carried those around with him, but I saw those shears, I don't know how many times over the years. And he was going like this at me. He said, "You know what I did with these?" And I said, "What?" He said, "I flew a plane." He was messing with me. I said, "Flew a plane with the shears."
And I think did Mr. Quinn also have the first motor-driven hearse
Most probably.
around one of the first motor-driven hearses around.
Back about, I'm trying to remember when, 1910 or 12, there was some man that flew a Wright plane from the East Coast to the West Coast. And of course, it didn't fly but 100 miles a day maybe, and then they had to land at the most. And they had a group of, Mr. Quinn went with them, so he said, trucks and so forth to repair the plane and maybe replace the motor. And he didn't go all the way to the West Coast, but he went with them out to somewhere like out in Kansas, but he was long. I'm trying to remember that man's name that was famous for flying the plane, but anyway, Mr. Quinn went with them on that. And of course, we all know about the Bush Brazil story. You're going to get to that in a minute, but
My favorite Frank Quinn story, and I've shared this with George, and Joe and Ham may be able to add to this, but the Methodist church that Mr. Quinn was a big part of had a water leak in the roof. And they had hired several people to fix that leak. Now this is one of Frank Quinn's stories, so it may or may not be 100%. But they had hired several people, contracted them to fix the water leak in the attic.
I think I know this.
Mr. Quinn was telling one of our black friends about the water leak, and the guy he was talking to said, "Well, I can fix that for you." And Mr. Quinn said, "Well, how much would it cost?" He said, "I can fix it for $5. So Mr. Quinn took him up to the church and showed him up, got him up in the attic. I don't even know if Mr. Quinn went in the attic because it was hard to get to.
Yeah, Joe knows.
Anyway, they sent him up there and told him where it was leaking, and then they left, and the black gentleman went to get his equipment to fix the leak. So he did his job, and after it was all over, he came out of the attic and he went to Mr. Quinn and he said, "I've got your leak fixed and you won't be bothered with it no more." And Mr. Quinn paid him $5, and true that.
Did it leak?
No more problems, no more problems. Someone happened to have an occasion to be in the attic of the Methodist church sometime later, and they discovered the repair. The black gentleman had got a 5-gallon plastic bucket and found where the water was coming in, and he caught the water, and of course it would evaporate by the next time we had a rain. no more leak problems, but that was the fix.
2 weeks ago, it was overflowing.
They went up to crank the chandeliers down so they changed the light bulbs.
Okay.
And then, what's that bucket doing? And it's full of water.
Did any of you ever talk to Mr. Quinn about the Bush Brazil?
I didn't.
Mm-mm. That was all new to me when the movie came out.
Yeah.
Frank talked some, I think,
Yeah, they said something.
I heard a little bit about it, you know, how he drove the hearse over there.
Yeah.
And he was telling me how these people were lined up over there. But it was just like a carnival.
Oh,
like a
yeah,
circus.
1,000 people over
Yeah.
there.
And but Frank was, I'm stuck to this day. This was another, like to stick your head out by the cookies. He said, I'll be over there at 15 to 2. So I go outside and get in with him. We go out to the old Sticky Cemetery. Sticky Cemetery meeting. I'm still the president of Sticky Cemetery. That was 30 years, 40 years ago. He took me out there and said, I want you to become, you've got folks buried out here. We need to have somebody that's interested in it. And I've served with Dr. Carey and Catherine Henry and Betty Carey and just a lot of folks. Alma Simpson, great old loud names. But anyhow,
yeah.
but I'm still out there, and I need somebody to relieve me.